Welcome to Hope Blooms, a podcast from the Early Pregnancy Loss Association.
At EPLA, we seek to support women and families suffering early pregnancy loss by providing resources, education, and community. It is our vision that no one suffers miscarriage alone.
Welcome back to Hope Blooms. My name is Maria Servold, and I'm EPLA's president. Today we have with us Jamilah Robinson, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about her organization. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Maria. I'm excited to be here and talk with you today. Again, my name is Jamilah Robinson. I'm one of the founding members and executive director of the Missing People Support Group. We're located here in Texas, and we serve the Houston and Greater Houston community who has experienced pregnancy loss with a care package offering program as well as a support group program. Both programs are free of charge and service to the participants and individuals. And our goal is just to bridge the gap between hearing, your baby no longer has a heartbeat and next steps, because many women who encounter pregnancy loss, especially early on, don't receive anything outside of, medical attention, and then are left to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, that's one of the things that prompted us to start the Early Pregnancy Loss Association as well, was exactly that gap, like between something happening in the doctor's office and then, what next, right? Yeah, so when did your organization get started?
We will be 3 years old in November this year. So we're really excited about it. Yeah, so we're still pretty young. The mission started out of me and my fellow board members experiencing pregnancy loss and wanting that into this community that we found ourselves in and serve them in this meaningful way with resources that will help them.
Yes, I'm sure you and Emily talked about we were founded for the same reasons, right? She and I both, and some other people in town, had experienced loss and felt like there was nothing to help. And so in 2016, we founded this group. So tell me a little bit about I think it's interesting that both, of our groups developed independently and both give out these sort of care kits. So what's in your care package? What do you give folks when they experience pregnancy loss? And do you focus on early loss or all the way through?
It's early loss through stillbirth. One of our board members experienced a stillborn. And so that's a needed resource even late in the pregnancy. Some hospitals do provide, some additional after steps, and they definitely take you through the bereavement burial process. But just that mental health support, providing a support group and an outlet to talk with other people who have gone through it, it's still helpful at that stage. But you bring up a great question about our care package. So it's a combination of some self-care items plus some materials that get them in the mindset of grief support and helping them, navigate the emotions that are just swimming in your head when something like this happens. So we have self-care wise, some immediate comfort items like chocolate, tea. We partnered with the local church to include like these small pillows that you can hold. And we also have the little eyelid mask that control puffiness when you cry. And then we create these angel ornaments that can be hung on the tree for Christmas time as a memorial or a way to remember. And we also have a book entitled Love Baby by Sarah Philpott. And it's one Proverbs that will help you navigate pregnancy loss. But the most meaningful thing that, the women and I are proud of is that he sent them a note. It's just postcard size. It basically states or acknowledges the loss. Let them feel it. Because, this is a very touchy subject. People are still not talking about it as much as the conversations could be normalized before. When you encounter something like this, you're embarrassed, you feel isolated and alone. So we want them to be seen through that work and to let them know this box is here for you when you're ready to make the next move. And we also have additional resources on our website to provide a way of basically charting out your life after loss journey. Because not everybody's going to heal with a support group. But if you want to listen to a podcast or read a book or listen to helpful songs, we have a directory of all of those things. That can actually be used nationwide, but then our support group and our therapists and referrals are here in the heart of Houston and included.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. What a great idea to have the list of resources online. That's something we could do better. Because, our care kits, we have 2 different sizes. The smaller one is just a few sanitary items and then some comfort items. And then the big one includes those things and then also stuff to help if you're expecting to miscarry the baby at home, like say it's a miscarriage or whatever. And those were just developed out of what, those of us on the board had gone through and what we thought was needed. And it's interesting whenever we encounter a group like yours, or I've seen some others on social media who do similar things, how we've all sort of come up with the same kind of things to include. It's like clearly there are specific needs and people are not meeting them except for these groups like yours and ours, which I love the name of your group really bears that out, right? It's sort of filling in the pieces. Talk to me about why, and I think it's very important, but why you guys, not only with the kids, but included the therapy support group aspect, because that's something we haven't gotten into, but we certainly recommend people look into if they think it would help. But maybe you can talk a little about that.
Sure. So all of our board members have gone up through a support group program. We have an Emily on our side of this fence. She and I met at a pregnancy loss support group that's offered locally here back in about 2018 or 19. We were just starting to together. So it was a free resource offered 7 weeks through Rose Place, 1 day out of 4. And every week we get to meet in that place that, I now can express and emote as a safe space, basically, that allowed us to open up and share, just being in another room with somebody who has gone through it and they begin to tell their story, you realize similarities and it gives you the courage to be as transparent. And so I'm speaking from the perspective of when I was at that time in my life, I was a very private person. I was not one who openly expressed her heartache, pain, emotion. I internalized those things. And so I was at a point where, I just needed something and I couldn't find that something. So I decided to give the support group opportunity a chance. I'm at my wit's end here. I am hurting. I'm spiraling into depression that no one else can comfort me. And so, it was my last shot at trying to heal and hope and recover from this grief, and it worked. We are a group that, continue to meet even after the support group. Once a month we would get together and have, dinner somewhere, and we watched each other's kids, grow up, the ones that we currently had, as well as, other members get pregnant again and have successful pregnancies. So that helped our life after loss terminology was, we dealt with the hurt and the emotions and we moved forward, not forgetting what we gone through, but just, healing from that dark hole space that we were in. And this birth a really good friendship. So, we want that for other women that have gone through this. We want you to be able to be in a place where you are okay with not being triggered because you're sharing some sensitive stuff, and then connecting with the people that you're sharing with and continuing a friendship beyond the 7 weeks that we offer you together.
It's really neat that you guys stayed friends after that. I mean, that's awesome. I think that whole thing sort of speaks to something that a lot of women who suffer miscarriages feel, which is that they feel like they're alone and that no one else has dealt with this before, which is definitely how I felt, even though it's like knowing somewhere in my brain that wasn't true. But then like once I've over the years we've been doing this, I've found that when you do open up and say this happened to me, so many other women, say me too. And so it's like we're all there, just, but sort of quietly.
That's one of our initiatives is, break the silence around talking about this. We have to normalize these conversations. If a woman encounters this, they know that they're not alone, and they can be okay with seeking help, because there are people in community here to help them. And I am truly thankful for podcasts like yours. Ireland, we record testimonials that we post to a YouTube channel so that we can be found when somebody is searching, and they can feel seen through those testimonials. So yeah, we have to about not talking.
Yes. How have you noticed over the last handful of years? Have you seen a shift in the sort of public conversation about miscarriage? We feel like since we started, however many years ago, 8. That it has become more of a thing. Yeah, I know. It has been more discussed. Like celebrities are often coming out more and saying that they've experienced loss. But have you seen a shift in that conversation, or where else do we need to go? Maybe what else do we need to see?
I would agree there has been a shift over the last several years, and I think a lot of it has to do with being more transparent about mental health issues, and the communities actually. Yes, it's okay to not be okay. Yes, you should seek the help of a therapist. Those things are helping to, not only promote mental health, but to, encourage our pregnancy loss community to talk about things of this nature. And then the celebrity aspect has definitely been a huge help for pregnancy loss in our community. Because, other people can see themselves through these women who are sharing their stories about loss, and they have the platforms to emote and talk about, what they went through, how they feel, what they're doing now. So, good things for the community as well as mental health, but there's just still so much more that needs to be done. Like if you can't get type of support when you encounter a loss at a hospital or a birthing center or a women's clinic, they still have services.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we've noticed too. I mean, that's sort of been one of our, the thing we keep trying to get right is how can we find those women, which you would think and hope that if they're in the hospital, they would get, the right, it's not like people are not being, medically cared for properly, but that emotional piece I think is often missing in the hospital setting. And so that's why we've tried to get our kits in ERs and, in doctor's offices so that if, say, they go into their OB and get an ultrasound and are told they, can't find a heartbeat, they then give them a kit right there, right? So it's not just like, here's your diagnosis, have a good day.
He didn't want to leave empty-handed from those places. We've made similar partnerships with birthing centers and doulas and a women's clinic that has 4 locations down here. Our ultimate goal is to get into hospitals of the medical center here. I don't know if you know anything about Houston's medical center, but it's pretty well renowned. And, there's a lot of people here. So there is a lot of pregnancy loss that is being encountered on a daily basis.
I know. Yeah, we're in a really small town, so it was sort of easier to start because we have such a small little hospital. But yeah. What do you think, what are sort of your goals, your next big goals for your organization? What do you hope to do in the next 5 years?
That's funny that you mentioned 5 years, because we have a 5-year plan to be in all major Texas cities with our support group program and, physical presence in those communities. Our care packages are currently shipped nationwide, but we want to offer that in-person support. We want to be, vendors at community meetups for mental health awareness, like maternal mortality meetups. Any of those niche areas that that need that missing piece of the support, the pregnancy loss support aspect. We want to be in those circles and in those communities, in those Texas cities. And then, once we have solidified the Texas presence, then we'll move to another state, until we're nationwide.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we also mail our kits nationwide. We give out a lot within the state of Michigan. We work with a group out of Detroit called SHARE, which I think it's a national organization, but it's the Detroit version, which is a support group. And the lady who runs that, takes 500 of our small kits every year and puts them with her own stuff and takes them around the state, which is great. And then, we mail them everywhere as well. Tell me, so you said your kits are free, people don't pay for them?
Correct.
So are ours. Tell me why you do it that way and why you think that's important, because we do also. But it's a big cost, so maybe you can just talk about that decision a little bit.
Right. Again, we're putting some premium items in here in the box because we want, people that receive them to feel like they matter. And so the quality matters to us. And we don't want them to have to, make a decision between, should I buy this care package that might help me, or go get the school supplies for the kid, or go get groceries, because some people are in that position where every dollar and penny counts. So we'd rather just provide the help for free. And, we have to do a lot of fundraising around these programs in order to provide that free help. But it's worth it to us to be able to put something in someone's hands that is going to help them figure it out next step wise, without having to think about the financial burden of figuring it out for free. Because this is another thing. Thank you for asking this question. So not only do you have to deal with the mental health emotions of pregnancy loss, but with that loss comes medical bills. And, they don't come immediately. So when you get the first bill in the mail, it's just like a brutal reminder of what you've gone through. And as you make those payments on that bill, it's just a constant irritation that if you don't, address what's going on with you mentally, it can trigger you, it can spiral you even further into depression. And so, we don't want, one more financial barrier away somebody doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we feel the exact same way. It's like we include in our kits, we include some pads also, so that it's like, you've got a little hole to tide you over until somebody can go get you some at the store. But I don't know if you and our Emily talked a little bit about we just launched it last fall, our bill pay program, medical bill relief program we started here in town. But that was, the medical bills were the big sort of trigger for Emily after she had several of her losses. So we have this program now just with our local hospital because it's complicated because it involves bills and people's, medical information, where they can apply to the hospital for up to $500 in relief for miscarriage-related bills, and the money comes from a fund that we've set up, which is really great. So it has to, go through the billing and everything, but if there's miscarriage-coded bills, they can be reduced by $500 thanks to our fund. But that's something we've been trying to do since 2016, and we just got it started last year. The hoops to jump through with, all the people at the hospital and everything, it was complicated, but we hope that becomes something that more people can, take advantage of here, or groups like yours can emulate in other places.
I will definitely have a follow-up conversation with your Emily, because we have been looking for a way to, help on the financial piece. And for them to be able to qualify for something like that through the hospital, that is amazing. Kudos to you for sticking with that and figuring it out, even though it took so long. Like, you have to make it more easier for the rest of us that are trying to get resources like that and make it happen.
Yeah, well, and I think that sort of gets to this, this idea we've encountered over the years, groups like yours. There's one in Ohio that does something similar to us. I've come across them other places, and we don't compete with each other, and we shouldn't. Right? We can all sort of be the puzzle pieces, as it were, across the country to help take care of everyone and share ideas and, we can all do the work together.
We have a similar partnership on our end. In October, we host a Wave of Light event with 2 other baby loss organizations. One of the organizations, Little Angel Network, has a very similar offering to us. And the other, Grace Harvey Foundation, deals specifically with NICU losses. But we set aside, community relationships, all those things together and create bigger impact by hosting this event for the community collaboratively. So, I didn't any nonprofit, not even in the pregnancy loss space, but other sectors, you need to align and connect with resources so that you can have a bigger impact on the communities that you both serve. It only helps the people that you're serving if you figure out how to work together.
Sometimes some of the churches in town will have, like we got a little card that says, have you had a miscarriage here, scan this to order a kit or whatever. Because a lot of people, that's the first place they're going to go is to their priest or pastor. And then, if those people know that we exist, then we can try to catch more people that way as well. And we have a great pediatrician in town who puts the little posters up around her office as well, because, someone said that's where the moms are. And so we can try to catch people that way. We went years ago to a PLIDA conference, the Pregnancy and Infant Loss. I can't remember. It's PLIDA conference. And it was so fascinating. We sort of had our version 1.0 of our kit with us. And all these nurses from ERs around the country were like, this is a great idea. We're going to copy this idea. And we were like, go for it. Copy it and do it in your own place. So anything else you'd like to add? Any final thoughts or things you would, and tell us too also where people can find you guys, like your website, social media, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. First, I'd like to use this opportunity to promote 2 events we have coming up. The first I just mentioned which is Wave of Light. It'll be October 13th at Bell Park in Houston for those of you who are local. It'll be a time where we come together and acknowledge the pregnancy loss through a candlelight visual. This park is extremely beautiful and has a waterfront location. So we'll be taking advantage of that and doing a little candle release with each night for the pregnancy loss this summer. It's a great opportunity to come and meet like-minded people and learn about the resources that all 3 of our nonprofit organizations offer for continued support. And then our nonprofit, this support group, is hosting a 5K on Saturday, October 26th at McGregor Park. If you are a part of the pregnancy loss community, through miscarriage, or stillbirth, the baby loss, we'd love to come and hand you out during, Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month so that, you can see other individuals, connect with them. And for those of you who aren't, we encourage you to participate as well so that people can see that there is a community that cares about them and the needs that they need met. So it's going to be a fun day, a fun event. It's our first, and we're looking forward to hosting this on an annual basis. But if you're interested in participating as a volunteer, vendor, or a sponsor, we'd love to connect you to help us in that way. And you can find all of our information on our website, which is missingpiecessupportgroup.org, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Missing Pieces Support. We're also on X at Missing Pieces SG, and on TikTok and Missing Pieces Support as well.
Wow, awesome. We got to find the people where they are out there on the internet, which it's good that, we have the internet and people can find each other through it. I think about women going through this, decades ago and how isolating it would probably feel, even more so because you couldn't find each other. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Jamilah, so much for being with us today. And we will be sure to put a link to all the places to find you guys in the on the page here with the podcast link. So that'll be great. And we wish you the best of luck with your organization.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for having me. Best wishes in your efforts too.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for listening to Hope Blooms, a podcast from the Early Pregnancy Loss Association.
To learn more about how we and you can support women suffering early pregnancy loss, visit our website at miscarriagecare.com or find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for listening.